Imagine, for a truly profound and genuinely transformative moment, the exhilarating, deeply liberating, and inherently empowering sensation of waking up tomorrow, not just any day, but tomorrow, with absolute, unwavering, and complete control over every single word you speak, every nuance of your communication, every subtle inflection of your voice. Envision commanding every emotion you feel, understanding its origin, its purpose, and choosing its expression rather than being consumed by it. Picture regulating every dollar you spend, making each financial decision a conscious act of alignment with your values, rather than a surrender to impulse or external pressure. And finally, contemplate mastering every thought that crosses your mind, discerning its truth, its utility, and its power to shape your reality. Sounds utterly impossible, doesn't it? A utopian ideal, perhaps, too far removed from our daily struggles. But over 2,000 years ago, there was a man, a truly remarkable individual, who not only believed this wasn't just a distant possibility, but he profoundly believed it was the only way to live a truly free, truly dignified, and truly purposeful life. His name was Epictetus, and let the profound irony of this resonate within you. He was born a slave. Let that stark reality, that deeply impactful truth, truly sink in. He had no external control over his physical body, no freedom of movement, no inherent say in his immediate circumstances. He was literally owned by another person, a chattel. Yet somehow, in the crucible of such profound physical bondage, this extraordinary man discovered something so powerful, so fundamental, and so liberating that it completely transformed him. Not just superficially, but from a physical slave into one of the most influential teachers of mental and emotional freedom the world has ever known. He taught, with a wisdom born of profound suffering and insight, no one can hurt you without your permission. At first, that might sound incredibly harsh, even dismissive, especially to someone actively going through real, tangible pain, real hardship, or real injustice. But what he truly profoundly meant was this: while we cannot always unequivocally control what happens to us in the external world, the events that befall us, the actions of others, we can always and absolutely control how we respond to them, how we interpret them, and how we choose to act in their face. And in that conscious response, in that moment of chosen reaction, lies our true, unassailable, and ultimate power. Most of us today in the modern world are fortunately not physically enslaved, not literally bound by chains. But many of us are tragically trapped, imprisoned by our own uncontrolled words, by our volatile emotions, by our undisciplined spending habits, and by our unruly, chaotic thoughts. We say things we immediately regret, words that cause irreparable damage to relationships and our own reputation. We let our transient moods ruin entire days, sabotaging our productivity and our peace. We spend money we don't truly have on things we don't genuinely need, driven by impulse, comparison, or a superficial desire for temporary gratification. And we passively allow our minds to spiral endlessly with debilitating fear, gnawing doubt, and constant worry, stealing our present moments. But what if I told you with absolute conviction that the same profound wisdom that liberated a Roman slave from his internal chains could also, unequivocally, free you from your own self-imposed prisons? What if the very things you currently feel most utterly out of control in your life, your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind, could actually, paradoxically, become your greatest strengths, your most powerful tools for a life well lived? The ancient Stoics, with their deep understanding of human nature and the pursuit of flourishing, understood something profoundly simple yet crucial that we, in our modern complexity, have largely forgotten. They knew that real wealth isn't merely measured in accumulated dollars, in material possessions, or in external assets. It's measured truly in self-control, in the mastery of one's own desires and impulses. Real power isn't merely about controlling others, dominating situations, or exerting external influence. It's about profoundly mastering yourself, your inner landscape, your reactions, your character. And true freedom isn't about having endless, boundless choices or limitless external options. It's about consistently and deliberately making the right choices, the virtuous choices, the aligned choices every single day, regardless of circumstances. Life, in its beautiful unpredictability, constantly gives you the chance to practice this, offering invaluable opportunities for self-mastery. Someone cuts you off abruptly in traffic, an infuriating moment, but that's your precise chance to actively control your mouth, preventing a harsh word, and to master your mood, maintaining your inner calm. You're tempted to impulsively buy something you don't genuinely need, something driven by fleeting desire. That's your exact moment to take conscious control of your money, aligning spending with values. Your mind starts spiraling with debilitating fear or gnawing doubt and internal chaos. That's your crucial opportunity to reclaim your thoughts, to assert your mental sovereignty. The profound beauty of Stoic wisdom is that it doesn't expect impossible perfection from you. Even Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the entire Roman Empire, arguably one of the most burdened by external pressures, struggled with these same internal challenges. In his deeply personal journal, his Meditations, he reminded himself daily, tirelessly, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This isn't about becoming emotionless, cold, or aloof. It's about becoming so deeply rooted in who you are, so anchored in your principles, that external chaos, the world's storms, simply can't shake you to your core. When you consciously control your mouth, when you master your words, you learn to speak with unwavering intention, with purpose, not from impulsive reaction or unthinking habit. When you consciously control your mood, your emotional state, you choose your emotional response instead of passively being its victim, tossed by its currents. When you diligently manage your money, it fundamentally becomes a powerful tool for achieving peace, security, and aligned purpose, not a source of chronic stress or endless worry. And when you truly master your mind, its content, and its direction, you become the conscious author of your thoughts, shaping your internal narrative, not their passive prisoner, dictated by their whims. In the next few minutes, as we delve into these timeless principles, you're going to gain profound insight into these four fundamental pillars of personal power: the mastery of your mouth, mood, money, and mind. We'll explore ancient wisdom that's more relevant, more crucial, today than ever before, and you'll walk away with real, actionable tools to start using immediately, transforming your life from the inside out. But here's the deal, the non-negotiable commitment. This profound transformation only works if you commit to it with unwavering dedication. Each section builds logically and cumulatively on the one before it, so don't skip ahead, don't rush the process. Stay with me through every part, absorb every insight, and I promise this journey could fundamentally change your life, offering unparalleled freedom and strength. If you're ready to bravely take back control, to reclaim your inner sovereignty, hit that like button. Drop a comment below telling me which of the 4M's you struggle with most: mouth, mood, money, or mind. And make sure you're subscribed, becoming part of this community, because this journey to profound self-mastery is just getting started, and your dedication is essential. Share this transformative message with someone who truly needs it, who is struggling, because real power, lasting change, begins with you, with your inner commitment. And to solidify this commitment, drop this powerful affirmation in the comments: I am the master of my mouth, mood, money, and mind. Lesson 1, master your mouth, the gateway to wisdom and intentional communication. Number 1, the very first pillar of self-mastery. Master your mouth, the profound gateway to wisdom and authentic self-expression. There's an old, timeless saying, often repeated, the tongue is a small thing, but what enormous damage it can do. It can set a great forest on fire. But here's what most people tragically don't realize, what they often overlook. Your mouth and the words it utters isn't just about the potential damage it can cause to others, to relationships, to reputations. Every single word you speak, every sentence you form, is either actively building or subtly destroying the person you are profoundly becoming, shaping your identity. Seneca, one of Rome's greatest Stoic philosophers, a keen observer of human nature and political dynamics, spent years meticulously observing the subtle yet immense power of speech in the bustling Roman Senate. He watched with discerning eyes as illustrious careers were meticulously built and irrevocably destroyed with single, ill-chosen sentences. He saw friendships shattered by careless, impulsive words and powerful alliances formed through thoughtful, precise, and intentional communication. But his most profound, most transformative insight came from watching himself, from his own disciplined self-observation. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end, Seneca wrote with poetic insight. And nowhere is this profound truth more evident, more true, more impactful than with our words. Every single time you speak, you're implicitly ending one version of yourself, the reactive, impulsive, unthinking self, and beginning another, the intentional, thoughtful self. The crucial question, therefore, is this: are you actively becoming someone you genuinely respect through your words? Think deeply about the last time you said something in anger, frustration, or defensiveness that you immediately, profoundly regretted. In that precise moment, that flash of impulsivity, you felt the raw, unfiltered power of uncontrolled speech, its destructive potential. Your words had escaped before your wisdom, your reason, or your self-control could catch them, preventing harm. Now imagine vividly if you could reclaim that inherent power. What if every word you spoke was consciously chosen, meticulously selected, not just impulsively released without thought? The Stoics, in their relentless pursuit of self-mastery, developed a simple but profoundly effective practice: the pause. Before speaking, especially in emotionally charged moments, in heated discussions, or when strong feelings arise, they would deliberately pause and ask themselves three crucial questions. They would inquire, is it true? Is it helpful? Is it kind? If the answer to any of these questions was a clear, honest no, they remained silent, choosing restraint over regret. But mastering your mouth isn't just about holding back negative, destructive, or impulsive words. It's also profoundly about the intentional, conscious use of positive, uplifting, and constructive ones. When you genuinely compliment someone, speaking from the heart, you're not just making their day better. You're actively training yourself to consistently notice good in the world, cultivating a positive outlook. When you speak words of encouragement, offering support and belief, you're powerfully programming your own mind to actively look for possibilities rather than problems, for solutions rather than obstacles. Marcus Aurelius, the wise emperor, wrote in his deeply personal journal, his Meditations, with profound insight: "Be like the rocky headland on which the waves constantly break. It stands firm, and round it the seething waters are laid to rest." Your controlled speech, your calm words, your thoughtful responses can be that unwavering headland for others in a world of reactive, often chaotic communication. Your thoughtful, measured words become a source of profound calm and unshakable strength, a beacon in the storm. Here's a transformative practice that will immediately and significantly impact your relationships and your inner peace for the next 7 days. Before you speak in any emotionally charged situation, in any moment where feelings run high, take 3 deep, intentional breaths. In the first breath, consciously ask yourself what you are truly feeling. In the second breath, empathetically ask what the other person might genuinely be feeling, seeking understanding. In the third breath, ask what words would truly serve the highest good of everyone involved, seeking alignment and peace. The amazing self-reinforcing thing about mastering your mouth is that it creates a powerful feedback loop. When you speak with intention, with wisdom, with purpose, people respond to you fundamentally differently. They listen more carefully, more attentively. They trust you more deeply, perceiving your integrity. And they seek your counsel more often, valuing your perspective. This isn't manipulation. It's the natural, inevitable result of becoming someone genuinely worth listening to, someone whose words carry weight and wisdom. But perhaps the most profound and far-reaching aspect of mouth mastery is how it directly affects your relationship with yourself, your inner dialogue. Every time you keep a promise you made verbally, you're meticulously building self-trust, brick by brick. Every time you speak kindly about yourself, offering self-compassion, you're actively reshaping your self-image, empowering your inner narrative. Every time you consciously refuse to engage in gossip or unnecessary complaining, you're deliberately choosing to focus your invaluable mental energy on what you can control, on what serves your growth. Remember, your words don't just communicate your thoughts, they actively shape them, they define them. When you consistently speak words of possibility, of gratitude, and of wisdom, your mind begins to think in those positive patterns automatically, creating a virtuous cycle. You literally become what you repeatedly say, what you consistently articulate. The mouth is the crucial gateway between your inner world, your thoughts, your beliefs, your values, and the outer world, your actions, your relationships, your reality. Master this gateway and you master the flow of energy in both directions, shaping your destiny. Tomorrow, we'll explore how this same profound principle applies to your emotional world, your inner weather system. Affirm this powerful truth below in the comments and make it your daily reminder, your guiding mantra. I speak with power, not impulse. Lesson 2, master your mood, the inner weather system, under your command. Number 2, a vital key to unshakable inner peace. Master your mood, your inner weather system. Imagine for a profound moment if you woke up every single morning and someone else, an external entity, a fickle deity, decided what the emotional weather would be inside your mind. Some days they arbitrarily choose a stormy, raging anger. Other days, a thick, pervasive, foggy sadness. And occasionally, if you were lucky, they might pick a fleeting, sunny happiness. This is exactly, tragically, how most people live their emotional lives, completely at the mercy of external circumstances, tossed by every shift in events or others' opinions. But here's what fundamentally changed everything for me, and what the Stoics brilliantly discovered over 2,000 years ago, a liberating truth for humanity. You are not the passive victim of your emotions, destined to be swept away by their currents. You are profoundly their creator, their interpreter, their master. Viktor Frankl, a renowned Holocaust survivor and profound psychologist, spent years enduring the unspeakable horrors of Nazi concentration camps, experiencing suffering beyond imagination. Yet, even in the most horrific circumstances imaginable, he made a discovery that echoes ancient Stoic wisdom with piercing clarity. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Think deeply about that sacred space right now. As you're listening to this, that vital space exists within you, a precious gap between every external trigger, every incoming thought, every challenging event, and your automatic emotional response. There's a moment, sometimes just a split second, where you have complete, unassailable power to choose your reaction. The Stoics meticulously called this the discipline of desire or the discipline of assent. It's not about wanting less from life. It's about wanting what you already have, embracing the present reality, and accepting what you genuinely cannot change, while simultaneously working diligently, proactively, and virtuously on what you can control, what is within your sphere of influence. When you master this profound discipline, when you truly embody it, your mood becomes like a well-tuned, perfectly calibrated instrument that you can skillfully play, creating harmonious inner melodies rather than a wild, unpredictable storm that relentlessly plays you, dictating your state. Here's the truth that might genuinely shock you, that might challenge your deepest assumptions. Your emotions are not objective facts. They're merely subjective interpretations, meanings you assign to events. When someone doesn't text you back immediately, the situation itself is neutral, a mere fact. Your mind, however, automatically creates a story, a narrative, that they're ignoring you, or they're mad at you, or they don't care about you. But what if you consciously created a different story, a more empowering interpretation? What if they're simply busy, their phone died, or they're planning something special for you? Marcus Aurelius practiced this diligently every single day. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Every morning, he would intentionally remind himself that the day would inevitably bring challenges, encounters with difficult people, and unexpected events. But instead of dreading these, instead of being paralyzed by anticipation, he saw them as invaluable opportunities to practice emotional mastery, to refine his inner strength. Try this powerful, transformative exercise right now. Think of something that's been subtly or overtly bothering you lately, a persistent source of emotional turmoil. Now ask yourself with brutal honesty, what story am I telling myself about this situation? Then bravely ask, what's another way I could interpret this, a different possible narrative? And finally, which interpretation, which story genuinely serves my highest good, my inner peace, my growth, my purpose? The magic, the profound shift happens when you realize that you've been the conscious or unconscious author of your emotional experience all along, shaping your own reality. You just didn't consciously know you were writing the story, that you held the pen. But mood mastery isn't about toxic positivity, about forcing a fake smile, or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about consciously choosing responses that truly empower you, that build you up rather than draining you or diminishing you. When you feel anger, instead of aggressively suppressing it or letting it explode destructively, you can choose to wisely use it as fuel for positive change, for setting boundaries, for seeking justice. When you feel sadness, instead of drowning in it, you can let it connect you deeply to your shared humanity and cultivate profound compassion for yourself and others, for the fragility of life. The Stoics had a beautiful practical practice called evening reflection. Each night, before sleep, they would review their day and ask with honest introspection, what emotions did I experience today? Which ones served me, aligned with my values? Which ones controlled me, dictated my actions? How can I respond better, more virtuously, more calmly tomorrow? Here's what consistently happens when you start diligently practicing mood mastery. You stop being afraid of your emotions because you know with inner certainty you can handle them, you can process them. You stop avoiding difficult situations or challenging conversations because you trust your innate ability to navigate them emotionally with composure. You become the calm, steady center in other people's storms, an anchor for their chaos, which makes you incredibly valuable, respected, and influential in relationships, in your work, and in your community. Remember, every emotion you feel is vital information, not instruction. Anger tells you something profoundly matters to you, something has been violated. Fear tells you to pay close attention to a perceived threat. Sadness tells you you've lost something valuable, that grief is a natural process. But none of these emotions, powerful as they are, get to make your decisions for you. Your mood is your inner weather system. And just like a skilled meteorologist who observes patterns and prepares, you can learn to predict, prepare for, and even subtly influence the weather patterns in your own mind, choosing your response. Type this below if you're ready to bravely take control of your emotional world, to become its master. I control my emotions. They don't control me. Lesson 3, master your money, the tool of freedom and aligned value. Number 3, a vital pillar of personal freedom and intentional living. Master your money, truly understanding it as a powerful tool of liberation, not a master. Money in its raw essence often reveals who you are, what your true values are. More than almost anything else in life, it's not just a neutral currency, it's crystallized energy, time, and the culmination of countless choices. And how you handle it, how you relate to it, how you choose to use it, fundamentally determines whether you live as a truly free person, making conscious decisions, or as a slave to your own fleeting desires, to external pressures, or to financial anxiety. Seneca, one of Rome's greatest Stoic philosophers, and notably one of the wealthiest men in Rome, paradoxically wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is truly poor." This profound statement wasn't merely theoretical philosophy for him. He meticulously lived it. Despite his immense wealth and luxurious opportunities, he regularly practiced voluntary discomfort, intentionally choosing simplicity, sleeping on the floor, and eating simple meals. to constantly remind himself that his happiness, his inner peace, his virtue, didn't depend on external luxury, on accumulating more. Here's the brutal, often uncomfortable truth most people don't want to hear or actively avoid confronting. If you can't consciously control your spending, if impulse dictates your financial decisions, you truly can't control your life, its direction, its freedom. Every purchase you make, every dollar you spend is either actively moving you toward financial freedom, toward purposeful living, or subtly yet powerfully moving you toward financial slavery, towards being bound by debt and external demands. There's no neutral ground. Every financial decision has a consequence. But money mastery isn't about being cheap, about hoarding, or about depriving yourself of genuine joy and experiences. It's about aligning your spending with your deepest values, your true purpose, and your long-term goals, and consciously using money as a powerful tool for your flourishing, rather than passively letting it use you, dictate your life, or become a source of anxiety. When you buy something because you're shady or bored, or trying to impress others, or seeking fleeting pleasure, money is using you, dictating your state. When you buy something because it genuinely adds enduring value to your life, or truly helps you serve others better, or contributes to your personal growth, you're consciously, intentionally using money as a tool, aligning it with your purpose. The Stoics practice something they called preferred indifference. These are things that are generally good to have, things that can be beneficial, but crucially, they don't determine your core worth, your happiness, or your virtue. Money falls squarely into this category. It's generally better to have money than not to have it, as it provides comfort and options. But it should never become your master, your sole pursuit, your measure of self-worth. Think deeply about your last impulse purchase. You know, that thing you bought quickly without much thought, that's probably sitting unused somewhere in your house right now, contributing to clutter. In that very moment of purchase, what were you really trying to buy? Was it merely the item itself, its utility, its function? Or were you unconsciously trying to buy a fleeting feeling, status, comfort, excitement, acceptance, relief from boredom, or a temporary escape from an emotion? Here's a powerful practice that will profoundly revolutionize your relationship with money, transforming it from a source of stress to a tool for freedom. Before making any non-essential purchase, any decision driven by impulse or emotion, pause and ask yourself, what am I really trying to buy here? What deeper need or desire am I trying to fulfill with this purchase? If the honest answer is a feeling or an experience, then proactively find a way to get that feeling or experience without spending money first. Often you'll discover you don't need the purchase at all. The underlying need can be met differently. But true money mastery goes beyond just controlling spending. It's profoundly about generating value and contributing meaningfully. The Stoics believed in contributing to the common good in serving humanity. When you focus your energy and efforts on serving others through your work, on creating genuine value for the world, money often becomes a natural byproduct, a secondary reward, rather than the primary goal or obsession. This powerful shift in perspective fundamentally changes everything about how you earn and spend. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "In the morning when thou risest unwillingly, let this thought be present. I am rising to the work of a human being." When you consciously choose to see your work as a service, as a contribution to humanity, rather than just a means to make money, you bring excellence, dedication, and integrity to it, qualities that inevitably lead to greater financial rewards and deeper personal satisfaction. Here's what profoundly changed my entire financial life, offering immense clarity. I started tracking not just where my money went, which is common, but crucially, how I felt after each purchase. I created 3 simple columns in a journal or spreadsheet: purchase, reason, underlying need/emotion, and feeling after: joy, regret, emptiness, peace. What I discovered through this honest tracking profoundly shocked me. The purchases that brought lasting satisfaction, true contentment, were always consistently aligned with my deepest values. Books that expanded my mind, experiences shared with loved ones, tools that genuinely helped me serve others better, investments in my growth. Conversely, the impulse purchases, the status buys, the emotional spending, these consistently left me feeling empty, regretful, or anxious, a fleeting high followed by a deeper low. This simple yet powerful practice gave me a profound clarity about my spending patterns and my underlying motivations that no budget app or financial spreadsheet alone ever could. Money mastery also means understanding the crucial difference between assets and liabilities, between investments and drains. Every dollar you spend should either maintain your ability to earn more, or it should increase your capacity to serve others, to create value. When you start thinking this way, with this intentional framework, you naturally begin building true wealth that provides freedom and purpose instead of just consuming it, accumulating debt, or chasing fleeting desires. Remember, the ultimate goal isn't to hoard money or to accumulate endlessly. It's to have enough freedom to be generous, to take calculated, purposeful risks, and to make decisions based on what's right, what's virtuous, what aligns with your principles, rather than being limited by what you can afford by financial constraints. Lesson 4, master your mind, the command center of your entire reality. Number 4, the most profound and encompassing pillar of personal mastery. Master your mind, the true command center of your entire reality. Your mind is like a vast, fertile garden. Every thought you allow to stay, every belief you entertain, is a seed you are actively planting. The crucial question, therefore, is this: what kind of harvest, what kind of life, what kind of reality do you genuinely want to reap? Right now, as you're listening to this, thousands of thoughts, perhaps millions, are competing for your attention. Worries about tomorrow, regrets from yesterday, judgments about what you're hearing, plans for later today, fears of inadequacy. Most people, tragically, live their entire lives as passive observers of this relentless mental chaos, this inner cacophony, never truly realizing they possess the profound power to choose which thoughts deserve their energy, their attention, their belief. Epictetus taught his students, with liberating clarity, wealth consists in not having great possessions, but in having few wants. But he wasn't just talking about material wealth, about external possessions. He was profoundly talking about mental wealth, the richness of a mind unburdened by unnecessary desires, needless worries, or unproductive thoughts. When you stop entertaining every thought that knocks on the door of your consciousness, when you filter out the noise, you become incredibly rich in peace and focused attention. Think deeply about this. You wouldn't let strangers casually walk into your physical house and rearrange your furniture, disrupt your space, or dictate your living conditions. Yet, you often let random, intrusive thoughts, uninvited guests, walk into your mind and rearrange your entire emotional state, disrupt your peace, and dictate your reactions. A single negative thought, if given permission to stay and take root, can derail your entire day, your entire week, or even your life. The Stoics developed a powerful daily practice they called prosochi, pronounced prosoki, constant attention to the present moment and vigilant, discerning monitoring of your thoughts. It's not meditation in the modern passive sense. It's more like being a highly vigilant security guard for your own mind, consciously deciding which thoughts get access to your inner sanctuary and which ones get politely but firmly turned away, denied entry. Here's a practical practice that will profoundly change your life immediately. For the next week, every time you catch yourself in a negative thought spiral, spiraling downward, stop, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself with honest self-inquiry, is this thought genuinely helping me, or is it subtly hurting me, draining me? Is it constructively moving me toward who I want to become, or is it pulling me away from it, keeping me stuck in old patterns? If it's not serving you, if it's destructive, consciously choose to replace it with a thought that does, one that aligns with your purpose. But mind mastery isn't about toxic positivity, about forcing a fake smile, or pretending problems don't exist in the external world. It's about consciously choosing productive thoughts over destructive ones, constructive narratives over disempowering ones. Instead of thinking, this is terrible and there's nothing I can do, I'm helpless, You actively choose to think, this is challenging and I need to find the best way forward. I need to find a solution. Same objective situation, completely different mental and emotional experience, entirely different outcome. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his personal journal, with profound acceptance of reality, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. He understood with unwavering clarity that while he couldn't control the Roman Empire's external enemies, the relentless political intrigue, or even his own inevitable mortality, he had absolute, unassailable sovereignty over his mental kingdom, over his internal responses. Your mind is constantly telling you stories about what things mean, narratives about reality. Someone doesn't smile at you, and your mind automatically creates a story about rejection, about you being disliked. Traffic is heavy, and your mind automatically creates a story about being late, about everything going wrong, about your day being ruined. Your boss asks to see you, and your mind automatically creates a story about being in trouble, about impending doom. But here's the profound power. You can actively rewrite these stories in real time, in the very moment they arise. That person who didn't smile might genuinely be dealing with their own struggles, their own inner turmoil. Heavy traffic is an opportunity to practice profound patience, to listen to something educational, or to simply enjoy a moment of stillness. Your boss wanting to see you might in fact be good news, an opportunity, a promotion. The ancient Stoics had a powerful concept called the discipline of judgment. This is the practical practice of rigorously separating objective facts from the subjective stories we automatically tell ourselves about those facts. A fact is, it's raining outside. A story is, this rain is ruining my entire day. When you master this crucial distinction, you become incredibly powerful because your emotional state stops being controlled by external circumstances, by the whims of the world. It is controlled by your chosen interpretations. Try this right now. Think of something that's been stressing you lately, a persistent worry. Now, with clear intention, separate the actual facts, the verifiable details, from the story you're telling yourself about those facts. You'll be amazed at how much of your stress, how much of your suffering comes from the story, from your interpretation, not the objective facts themselves. Your mind is also incredibly powerful at problem solving when you direct it properly, with clear intention. Instead of letting it run wild with unproductive worry, give it specific, concrete problems to solve. Instead of anxiously asking, what if everything goes wrong? Ask, what's the best way to handle this situation? What is the next right action? Your mind loves challenges. It thrives on engagement, but it needs clear direction from you, its master. Remember, every thought you think, every narrative you reinforce, is either actively building the person you're becoming, aligning you with your highest self, or subtly yet powerfully tearing that person down, undermining your potential. You are literally thinking yourself into existence every moment of every day, sculpting your reality with your thoughts. Affirm this profound truth below in the comments to claim your inner power. I am the architect of my mind. Lesson 5, the ripple effect, how self-mastery transforms everything in your life. Number 5, a beautiful and expansive truth, the ripple effect. Here's something truly beautiful and profoundly impactful that happens when you begin mastering these 4 interconnected areas: your mouth, mood, money, and mind. They don't just change individually in isolated pockets of your life. They create a powerful, undeniable ripple effect that transforms your entire life experience from its core outwards. It's like meticulously tuning a musical instrument. When one string is perfectly tuned, when one area is brought into harmony, it makes all the others sound better too, creating a more harmonious symphony. When you master your mouth, people start actively seeking your counsel, valuing your insights, because your words carry profound weight and wisdom. When you master your mood, your emotional state, you become the calm, unshakable center that others instinctively gravitate toward in times of chaos, finding solace in your presence. When you master your money, you gain the financial freedom to make decisions based on your deepest values and purpose, rather than being dictated by mere survival or fleeting desires. And when you master your mind, its content, and its direction, you consistently see opportunities where others see only problems, finding solutions, creating possibilities. But the real magic, the profound transformation, happens in the spaces between these four foundational pillars, in their synergistic interplay. Let me tell you about Sarah, a single mother who attended one of my workshops last year. Her story a testament to this ripple effect. She came feeling completely overwhelmed, burdened by persistent debt, constantly snapping at her children out of frustration, worried sick about the uncertain future, and tragically trapped in negative, self-defeating thought patterns that kept her awake at night. 6 months later, Sarah sent me a message that brought tears to my eyes, a testament to her profound transformation. By diligently applying these principles, she had not only paid off her credit cards, eliminating a source of immense stress, but had also successfully started a small side business, creating new financial freedom. Her relationship with her children had completely transformed because she learned to speak from a place of love and patience, rather than frustration and reactivity. But most importantly, she said she finally felt like herself again, calm, confident, purposeful, and genuinely in control of her life's direction. The beautiful thing about Stoic wisdom is that it reliably creates what psychologists call an upward spiral. Each small victory you achieve in one area, each act of self-mastery, gives you the profound confidence and inner strength to courageously tackle challenges in another, seemingly unrelated area. When you successfully control your words, choosing a thoughtful response in a heated moment, you prove to yourself that you can also, with practice, control your emotions, your mood, in other challenging situations. When you resist an impulsive purchase, aligning your spending with your values, you strengthen the very same mental muscle of self-discipline that helps you resist negative thoughts or unproductive rumination. Aristotle famously said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. The Stoics took this profound insight even further. They understood that mastery in these four interconnected areas creates a powerful compound effect. Each day of consistent practice doesn't just make that specific day better. It fundamentally makes every future day easier, more peaceful, more aligned. Think deeply about the person you were 6 months ago. What were you struggling with then? What limiting beliefs held you back? Now imagine vividly the person you could become 6 months from now if you consistently, diligently apply these principles to your daily life. The gap between who you are and who you could be isn't as wide or as insurmountable as you might think. It's just a series of small, intentional daily choices, consistently practiced. Here's what I want you to truly understand, to internalize. You don't have to be perfect at all four areas simultaneously. That's an unrealistic expectation and a recipe for frustration. In fact, trying to do that often leads to overwhelm and giving up prematurely. Instead, pick just one area, one of the 4 M's that resonates most deeply with you right now, the one that feels most urgent or most impactful, and focus intensely on that for the next 30 days. Let mastery in that one area naturally influence and create positive shifts in the others. The Stoics believed in something called sympathia, the profound interconnectedness of all things in the universe. Your inner work, your personal growth, doesn't just benefit you, it creates a powerful ripple effect that profoundly benefits everyone around you. When you become more controlled and intentional in your speech, you dramatically reduce conflict and create more harmony in your relationships. When you manage your emotions better, you cultivate a more peaceful and stable environment for your family and loved ones. When you handle money wisely with virtue and discipline, you model financial responsibility and freedom for your children and your community. When you direct your thoughts constructively, purposefully, you become a powerful source of solutions, creativity, and inspiration rather than problems. But perhaps the most profound ripple effect is how self-mastery fundamentally changes your relationship with difficulty itself. Instead of seeing challenges as things that passively happen to you, making you a victim, you start seeing them as invaluable opportunities to actively practice your mastery, to sharpen your skills, to deepen your resilience. Every difficult conversation becomes a chance to practice mouth control, to choose thoughtful words. Every stressful situation becomes an opportunity for mood mastery, for emotional regulation. Every financial decision becomes practice for money wisdom, for aligned spending. Every intrusive worry becomes a chance to redirect your mental energy, to assert your mental sovereignty. This fundamental shift in perspective, from victim to practitioner, from passive recipient to active agent, changes everything about how you experience life. Comment below if you're ready to courageously turn every challenge into a profound opportunity for strength and growth. Affirm, every challenge is my chance to grow stronger. Conclusion, your journey to unshakable mastery, the path to true freedom. We started this profound journey with Epictetus, a remarkable man who transformed from a physical slave, bound by chains, to a spiritual teacher, unbound by circumstance. His enduring secret wasn't magically changing his external circumstances, which he could not do. It was profoundly mastering himself within those circumstances, finding freedom in his internal response. Today, you, my friend, have the same choice he made over 2,000 years ago. You now understand that true freedom isn't about having unlimited external choices or boundless options. It's about consciously and consistently making the right choices, the virtuous choices, the aligned choices every single day, regardless of what life presents. You've learned that your mouth, mood, money, and mind aren't separate, isolated areas of life. They're deeply interconnected pillars that either actively support your growth and flourishing or subtly yet powerfully undermine it, leading to struggle. But here's what I want you to remember most, to carry with you as a guiding truth. This isn't about becoming perfect, an unattainable ideal. It's about becoming intentional, purposeful, and deliberate in every aspect of your being. Every time you pause before speaking, choosing your words wisely, you're practicing mouth mastery. Every time you choose your response to a challenging emotion, asserting your inner control, you're diligently developing mood mastery. Every time you align your spending with your values, making conscious financial decisions, you're powerfully building money wisdom. Every time you redirect a negative thought, asserting your mental authority, you're strengthening your mental sovereignty. The ancient Stoics faced relentless wars, devastating plagues, political upheaval, and profound personal tragedies. They didn't have easy lives, free from suffering, but they had something far better, something more enduring. They had unshakable inner strength that came from mastering these four fundamental areas, from cultivating their internal citadel. That same profound strength is inherently available to you, waiting to be unleashed. Your transformation starts with a single conscious decision. The decision to take full responsibility for your inner world, for your thoughts, your emotions, your responses. Not because life is fair, it isn't always. Not because it's easy, it won't always be. But precisely because you deserve to live as the master of your own experience, the captain of your own soul, rather than as a passive victim of external circumstances. 6 months from now, you'll either be the same person, grappling with the same struggles, caught in the same old patterns, or you'll be someone fundamentally transformed, someone who has learned to navigate life with profound wisdom, unwavering intention, and unshakable inner strength. The choice, my friend, is entirely yours to make, and the powerful time to make it is right now. Remember Epictetus's timeless words, a beacon of liberation. No one can hurt you without your permission. Today, you withdraw that permission. Today, you bravely begin the journey from automatic reaction to conscious response, from chaos to profound control, from internal slavery to ultimate freedom. The four pillars of mastery are waiting for you, ready to be built. Your future self is counting on you, waiting for your leadership. And somewhere in the eternal realm of ideas, the ancient Stoics are cheering you on, witnessing your journey. Take the first step. Start today. Start now. If this powerful message resonated deeply with you, if it stirred your spirit, smash that like button. Share this transformative message with someone who truly needs to hear it, who is seeking their own path to freedom. Drop your unwavering commitment in the comments below, making it a declaration to yourself, and subscribe for more life-changing wisdom. Your profound journey to mastery begins now. To solidify this commitment, drop this final powerful affirmation in the comments. Today, I choose mastery over mediocrity, intention over reaction, and freedom over slavery to circumstances.